It. Oh God! What is that? What is that? What is that? What is that? Oh my God! What's going on? My name is Jayce. Welcome back to my channel. And you know, ever since Spider-Man No Way Home came out, I've been, looking into a lot of Spider-Man stuff. So I've been really excited, and you can tell by give me 1 second. Much better, much better. Yep, that's better. There we go. I'm just gonna warn you right now. I'm gonna try not to, but there's a potential for spoilers in this video. It's been weeks, guys. Come on, watch the movie. But yeah, ever since it came out, I've been, looking into a lot of Spider-Man stuff, and there's a crazy fact that I don't think you guys know. Tobey Maguire wasn't the first live-action Spider-Man. Mic drop. No, so Tobey wasn't the first live-action Spider-Man. There was actually a TV series back in the 1970s. It was called The Amazing Spider-Man. Hold on, The Amazing Spider-Man 1920s. So yeah, there was an old Spider-Man show back in the day. And not only that, technically, if you want to get for real, he's the first theatrically released Spider-Man. Yeah, okay, it was a television film that had a theatrical release outside of the US. So that still counts, though. That's still first theatrically released Spider-Man. Right here. Nicholas Hammond. Eat it, Tobey Maguire. But not only that, this is the crazy information right here. This is the crazy stuff. There were technically 3 movies. So technically, Nicholas Hammond has more movies as Spider-Man than Andrew Garfield. The next 2 movies were a little bit different. I might watch those in the future. We're going to be watching the first one here today. But both of those were actually just episodes, like 2-part episodes of the show that they just jammed together and called it a movie. But they did release theatrically, again, full movie trilogy from a man, Nicholas Hammond. He should have been in Spider-Man No Way Home. So the Spider-Man sequel is one of them, Spider-Man Strikes Back. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, so Empire Strikes Back, it's the sequel. They're just copying that, right? Turns out, Spider-Man Strikes Back came out in 1978, 2 years before Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. Tobey Maguire can suck it, Andrew Garfield can suck it, and now George Lucas can suck it. Nicholas Hammond, Spider-Man for life. Let's go. I miss old, intros like this. Intros today just don't do it. The Tobey Maguire intros were the best. I'm glad, we got those.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Mr. Conweiler, where are you going?
So right off the bat, the main plot is apparently something weird's going on where a bunch of people, right when it hits a certain time, they just kind of space out and walk out of the room that they're in. It happened to a doctor, it happened to a lawyer. The thing that bothers me, and this is just so small, but God, continuity stuff always kills me. It says 10:45 on the clock. They very slowly zoomed into it to see that it was 10:45. But then when it shows the lawyer, it's 11 o'clock. I mean, so how does this thing work? Did whoever's doing the mind control be like, all right, you at 10:45, you at 11, you at 12:30. If you come in a second early, I swear to God. I'm already bothered by whatever the villain's evil power is. Oh, man. Oh, that's just the first of what I hope to see are many classic effects from the 70s. So the plot of this is apparently there's some kind of mind control or something, because I think that was the doctor who shot up the bank. So the robbers who were under mind control, I guess, crashed, and all the money they were stealing from, I assume, a bank was, wait, what happened here? He used his power to get them to rob a bank, as far as I could tell, because they had a ton of money on them. But then he had them kill themselves, or they just killed themselves, or they wrecked the car and the money was stolen by other people. So was the plan, is that how that was supposed to go down? That's so much more complicated by whoever the villain is. So we cut to Peter working at the Daily Bugle, which is great. That is something that has been seriously lacking in the modern Spider-Man. And you know what? From this time period, he looks about what I thought Spider-Man should look like. Bit older. I don't know, is it just me or do people from this time period just look older? So the news comes on, and apparently whoever the villain is, still haven't seen his face yet. He just comes out and is like, I have mind control powers. I controlled people to rob the bank. me $50 million. That's exactly how he said it.
Of course, if
Oh
you
my
want to live
God.
dangerously,
Oh my God, that man. Hold on, go back. He's look at the star on his shirt. This Captain America. This was the first Marvel Cinematic Universe right here. Nicholas Hammond. And we got this guy's Captain America. What was the guy who played the Hulk back in the day? Marvel Cinematic Universe. Right there. I do like this movie, though. It's actually interesting to watch because they did have a small reference. He said, like, aren't you playing hooky? Is what J. Jonah Jameson said to him. I like that. Small things. Be like, okay, he's in school. He's working at some laboratory, apparently. Peter Parker just has the most fulfilling life. They haven't said how old he is, but they said he was in school. So either high school or early college, and he has like something where he works in a lab, and then he also works at the Daily Bugle, and then he also eventually becomes Spider-Man. How do you have that much time, dude?
Do you believe in mind control?
I could get very funny about this, but I have a feeling you're serious.
Well, didn't you see the paper?
No? Why?
Some guy says he's going to have 10 people kill themselves unless the city pays him $50 million.
Why didn't I think of that?
Well, how would you do it?
That's a bit of an odd question there, Peter. He tells him like, hey, dude with mind control are gonna kill people. How would you do it? How would you murder those people? So the pacing of this movie is a little odd. There was just a whole scene that felt like it had no purpose. Like there was this whole argument where this delivery guy comes in, I guess delivering some part that Peter needs, and they argued about whether or not he can afford the part for a long time. And then they scared him away with the robot? I don't even know what. I think they're just trying to show that Peter's poor. So next, Peter gets bit by the radioactive spider. Saw how long it took me to say that? Because it takes the movie fucking forever to have it happen. They're working with these robotics, and then there's a spider in the machine that they're working on. Totally fine. But I swear to God, there's like a 3-minute long scene with them just playing around with the robotics, and it's so slow. And I know this is probably my fault. I'm like too used to modern movies in just how everything is told quickly. There's music to go along with everything. This was just a 3-minute long scene of just playing with robots. We don't even get to see the spider bite. Again, I know I'm probably being too harsh because of like modern movie making and stuff, but like you could have at least shown that there was a spider on his hand or something. They show the spider crawl back into a little area, and then a few seconds later he like puts his hand back there, and he's just like, ah. Man, the 70s were a wild time. Those pants are really tight. Really tight on you there, buddy. And they say we wear skinny jeans now. Oh no, he's getting chased. Run, Peter, run. Run! Why are they chasing him? He's literally nobody. Oh my God! What? Oh, just the edit. I don't even Okay, I get that was cool, and probably for the time, that was really, like, the effect of, like, crawling on the wall was probably exciting to see. But the editing of that scene, what are you doing? But seriously, though, it is a question. Why were they chasing him? He hasn't done anything yet. Like, yeah, he got bit by the spider, but, like, why were they following him? We then meet probably my favorite character in this movie. So you know every stereotype you've ever seen in any movie ever about, like, police captains? Yeah, that's this guy.
And get these rubbernecks out of here! Where's the money?
It wasn't there.
Hey! Hey! Kid, come here!
This scene right here where Peter's like, I gotta go, I have to study for an exam. And he just put the cigar in his mouth, takes it back out, go. That's acting right there. I don't know if this man has been in anything else, but he's the best. That gravelly voice, dead perfect. Oh God. What is that? What is that? What is that? What is that? Oh my God. I just gave you credit, movie. I was just giving you credit of like, oh, I'm sure these effects were great back. What is this? His hand's not even on the pole. What are you doing? This was a real movie. Like, look at this. This one's not great. This one's not great, but it's so much better than the last one. I mean, it's obvious he's on like some kind of rope or something, but that's cool. Oh, they're showing off his spider sense. So we got probably the most frustrating scene of this movie. Spider-Man's up on the wall, stops Purse Snatcher, then climbs down the wall. Perfectly fine. cop shows up, arrests the guy, and then a bunch of people saw Spider-Man climbing on the wall and were like, hey, he's up there. And the cop's like, y'all crazy. There's no one there. It's like, it's one thing for the robber at first to be like, hey, there's a guy up there. And you'd be like, no, I don't believe you. You're just trying to get away. But then there was a bunch of people all saying it, and the cop just didn't want to turn around. Scenes like that are so frustrating in anything. So next we get Peter going back to the Daily Bugle, and he's, like, look, I got pictures of the mind control guy. And J. Jonah's like, I don't care about that. There's this new story, the Spider-Man. And this is what I call the try to not make it as obvious as goddamn possible that you're Spider-Man, Peter. Jesus Christ.
But he's real. There is someone like that. He can climb walls, and he is like a spider. I mean it.
There is a Spider-Man?
Yes, sir.
You're sure?
Very sure.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Let's go. There's the Spider-Man. That's the first ever live action Spider-Man suit right there. That's dope. It actually, obviously it's gonna look goofy. You look at like the 60s Batman.
Holy frogman!
But this isn't that bad looking. I've seen worse. I've seen people at like cosplay conventions with worse Spider-Man costumes than this. Ah. It's a little odd. Okay. So with this one, instead of just taking off a mask, he has to take off the whole back. It's probably their way of making it so it looks like one piece instead of having wrinkles right here. So Peter took pictures of himself, sells them to JJ, and then we hear more about the mind control guy. Peter begs for the job. And the reason I bring this up is I actually really like this interaction.
How about Peter? Peter could do the job.
Do you know where 10th and Carlisle is?
Yes, sir. It was on my paper route when I was a kid.
And that's what you'll be doing again if you don't bring me some decent pictures. Get it?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Jameson.
I don't know. It's hard to say. Obviously, this movie is goofy. This movie has some charm to it, and they actually did a pretty decent job of portraying Spider-Man. They got all aspects of his life so far that I can tell in this movie. They covered Aunt May earlier.
Peter!
Aunt May, I'm busy up here.
Well, did you take your allergy pills?
Which I kind of glossed over, but everything's here. Peter, that's so obvious that you're... How much more obvious can you make it that you're Spider-Man? So Peter, there's a guy trapped behind the wheel, which, by the way, they are very lax about just letting a guy come up and take pictures of a guy, trapped behind the wheel. But regardless, we'll move on from that. And they say they can't get him out. Peter's like, hey, go look at that, and I'll move it for him. I actually really like that scene. I don't know why. It's a small way of, showing Peter still helping people even when he's just Peter. I don't know. I can't really explain it. I like that scene.
Captain Barbera? We can get him out now.
His name is Captain Barbera? Bro, was this on purpose? Did they make him just a cartoon character? But oh no, they knocked over his... Oh, that's sad. Poor Peter. So he loses all the film, I'm guessing? That's actually... Oh, that makes that scene... Oh, that fits Spider-Man so well. Oh, I like this movie a lot. I was expecting, honestly, coming into this, that it was just nothing like Spider-Man. If you've ever heard of the Japanese Spider-Man show, the one where he's got a giant robot and straight up murders people, it's basically a Power Rangers show. Honestly, I wasn't expecting that level of cheesiness, but I was expecting that level of inaccuracy.
My name is Peter Parker, and... Well, I'll go with you to the hospital if you want.
Wait, it's a mistake. He didn't do it. He couldn't have.
Don't you worry about anything. I'll straighten it out.
So that's a scene that I don't know how that would hold up today. So we got the first female character introduced into this movie, so I think it's safe to just take a guess and say that's Peter's love interest. So Miss Tyler, that was her father who had just gotten into the accident, I guess was mind controlled to rob a bank or something. He did some crime and then he crashed, and that was when the police found him. The reason this scene is so weird is Peter, obviously apparently thinks she's pretty, walks up to her, is like, hey, hello lady, I'm awkward nerd boy. And then he offers to go with her to the hospital, which they gloss over so quickly, but he doesn't know this woman. To just walk up to a random woman, her father was just in an accident, and a random dude walks up to you and is like, I'll go to the hospital with you. Yo, is this dude about to kill himself? What the fuck? This movie's dark. Oh my god, if we actually see this dude kill himself. Is Spider-Man gonna save the day? Dude, this music is anxiety inducing. Come on, Spider-Man.
Hurry up, get up there, move it!
So Spider-Man ends up saving the man trying to kill himself, but which, again, this movie, that's darker than a lot of Spider-Man media are going now. Like, the dude was really about to just off himself. Peter gets back to the Daily Bugle. He doesn't have pictures of the car crash anymore because he lost his footage. He also gets yelled at because he didn't get pictures of Spider-Man.
Let's have your pictures of Tyler in the car crash.
Oh, well, sir,
Let's have them.
But Peter goes up and asks Judy for money, and she's like, sure.
Do you think you could possibly lend me $46? I can get it back to you.
After all you've done for us, that's the least I can do. Come on.
Dude, he doesn't know this woman. Like, okay, it'd be a little bit different if she knew he was Spider-Man. That scene would kind of make sense. What did he do for her? I mean, think about it. All he did, from her perspective, all Peter did is he was there at the car crash taking pictures of her father. I feel like if that was my family member, I'd have some negative opinions, like, you're taking pictures while my father's hurt, you asshole. But no, this movie's just like, it's fine. He rode with her to the hospital. That's everything that they've experienced together. She was like, yeah, sure, I'll give you money. Peter Parker is a walking red flag. Judy here talks to Peter and is like, hey, my dad's been going to this class. I want to go to it. Will you go with me? Fine, I guess. But also, if there's a mind control guy going around and then your father goes to this mysterious class that you don't seem to know a whole lot about, and he tries to kill himself. You get what I'm getting at? So I'm like, all right, so Mr. Byron is the mind control man. And they kind of want it to be obvious. I mean, they give him a full, like, reveal-like scene where he slowly turns around.
I know what would make me happy. A house in the country for my children.
That's another one of those stupid dreams. But until you live now, you'll never get a chance to know it. You've lived in your mind so much you've probably never lived anywhere else.
This dude's kind of an asshole. I mean, they hyped up this, like, event that they were going to like he was some sort of motivational speaker, but he just called this woman stupid in front of everybody. Maybe her father wasn't mind controlled. He just went to these meetings so much that he got depressed being called stupid every day, and he just killed himself. Well, tried to. Failed at that, too. Apparently, he sucks at everything. Sorry, no, nope, that's too far. Nope. Peter and Judy get kicked out of the meeting because they're not officially members of the group. So this is probably where the mind control stuff happens. And so the next scene, Peter and Judy, Judy's driving Peter back to the school, I think. And you guys remember the dudes who are down bad Twitter account? I think you could have just posted this entire scene on that Twitter account. It would have fit just fine.
I mean, the way things are going for me now, I can use some help.
Well, would you settle for a poverty-stricken grad student? I just meant that I think
Look,
he's...
Peter, I'm tired. I want to go home.
Okay, sure. I will see you again, won't I?
Sure.
Oh, man. I like that he has web shooters at least. We are 48 minutes into this hour-and-a-half long movie, and he just now developed his web shooters. And I mean, it looks goofy, but I'm still, it's fun. After that, we obviously, all those people who were left behind, that Mr. Byron's motivational speech, yeah, all of them are getting mind controlled. And Peter apparently has a device back at his house that, like, measures radioactivity. What? Why does he have this thing? He, like, calls a scientist to be like, hey, Space Lab, are y'all doing anything? They're like, who the fuck are you? Leave us alone, kid. You know how whenever you're watching a movie and they start talking about, like, techno babble, sometimes it comes across as, like, techno babble, that they're just, like, saying words to sound smart. It feels like that's what they were doing in this scene, because Peter describes it as like, oh, well, they're in the radioactive blah, blah, blah. It's in the microwave region. Dude, they need to stop these green screen effects. The effects are not bad to look at whenever it's actually him on the wall, but like, use the rope. Yeah, this angle is not it. It doesn't match. I don't know what y'all did, but that angle doesn't work. That angle doesn't work. There's bumps in the building that he's on. Why are y'all doing this? I'm not gonna say anything about that jump. We're just gonna move past it. So are they ever going to address this plot line? Like, Peter's been having, I guess, allergies the whole movie. I don't know if they're just trying to show him, like, oh, he's kind of awkward nerd with allergies, which I guess is like a trope back in the day.
Well, did you take your allergy pills?
So what is the point of the allergies thing? Did it only exist for him to drop the fucking thing that measures the radioactivity? Is that the only reason he had his allergies? Oh shit. He's got a stick. Oh, what? What? So there's a guy, what? Where were they? They were just hiding in there waiting for Spider-Man to show up? That guy was just hiding behind the curtains. And there's a third guy. What is happening? Oh my god, this scene is amazing. What is this? What is this? What is this?
Kill him.
Come on, Spider-Man. Oh shit. That's actually kind of cool. It's a little slow, but... I like how they obviously just sped up the footage for parts of it. But the jumping onto the walls stuff in the fight, that took some coordination. Web him. There you go. Oh, that web effect. Okay. Okay, movie. Hey, I'm gonna give the movie credit. That fight scene was goofy as hell, but the jumping onto the walls, that obviously took some coordination. And I mean, the web effect was goofy. I would have accepted just a rope. It just makes it not believable, and it didn't hold him down for very long. Obviously, his webs aren't that strong. Swing away, Spider-Man. I highly doubt they're gonna have a web swinging scene in this movie. If they do, I'm so excited. Oh, are they? Are they about to have a web swing? Oh, shit. Swing away. Do it. Do it. Hey, that doesn't look bad at all. That didn't look bad at all. Okay, I gotta talk about this. I don't know who told Nicholas Hammond to do this, but in every scene where he's in the Spider-Man suit, he has like a battle stance that's so goofy. It's like, he like crouches down, puts his hands out, and is like, that's his battle stance. I don't know. I guess I'm just more used to the like pose. God, okay. You know, I can't do it. You know what I mean. You know the Spider-Man pose.
Spider-Man. Oh, I'm getting reinforcements for him. Good. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And if we're lucky, maybe Rumpelstiltskin will lend us a hand. What am I gonna do about Spider-Man? How do I know? I'm a cop, not an exterminator. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Send that college kid in here.
Oh, of course, Peter's here with the captain. Where else would he be?
Hi.
He just is everywhere in this movie. There ends up being another person who, you know, robs something, crashes their car. Peter calls Judy and says, hey, stay away from Mr. Byron. Dude's bad news. Stay away. She doesn't answer. He leaves a message, so he goes and meets up with Mr. Byron and pretends to want to join his class or program, whatever. Is like, hey, I want in. Instantly, this goes wrong, and Peter gets mind controlled by Mr. Byron in just this very uncomfortably sounding scene. Regardless, Spider-Man gets his shit together and is like, I'm gonna go stop the bad guy. So yes, we're ready for our final action climax. So excited for the action of this movie. Ah, yes. We get more men with wooden swords. Why does Mr. Byron employ these guys? He's robbing banks. He can afford guys with guns. Oh, are they grabbing guns? No. Okay. Oh, Jesus. So what the fuck? They have flamethrowers. I guess they broke his web. He's falling really slow. How the fuck did that work? How the fuck? He's in a red and blue bright colored costume and they sped right past him.
I'm on my way back to the garage. Where you want to go to? Hey, man, I don't want to mess with you.
Open the door, would you please? I'm not feeling well.
So we have this really fun scene where Peter's running around and he finds a random guy in a taxi. He's like, hey, please take me home. This is just a great scene. I love it. And then he ends up having to take a fucking garbage truck home. Oh my God. I like this movie. This is great. So we're getting into the final scenes of the movie. Basically, everything's coming to a head. The world's freaking out like, oh my God, do we pay this guy the $50 million he wants? There's a newspaper clipping like, are you one of the 10? Peter, though, back at his house using whatever device that he just has at his house, apparently, figures out how he's been doing it. And he's like, hey, Captain, please, Captain, I know what's going on. I know how to stop it. But then, on his way to go see the captain, the mind control works on him. So Peter's about to kill himself. That's where this movie's going. You know, I've seen Peter Parker die enough times.
I don't feel so good.
Peter walks his way towards the Empire State Building. You know, he's about to, I guess, kill himself on top of the building. And then we got back to Mr. Byron, and we just get a great line. I love this so much.
There's my golden goose, Mr. Mayor. Just make sure you deliver the eggs.
It just felt like right out of the Raimi movies, I guess. Just very comic book. Loved it. So they had set up a trade with the police, like, I guess, on a seaplane, where the police would come in on a boat, and then we just get one of the most awkward scenes I've ever seen, where they ADR the voices of all of the characters on the boat, because obviously they couldn't find a way to record audio on a boat, but then it just sounds so... Just watch.
Come on, move along, move it.
Hey, come on. We're gone.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? So everyone's about to kill themselves. Everyone is about to die. Mr. Byron's putting all the commands in, be like, destroy. And the way that Peter Parker does not end up jumping off the Empire State Building is when he's climbing up, he accidentally knocks the little thing off of his chest. What the So you're telling me if he didn't do that, he would have just died? He has a belt now. What the fuck? Where did that belt come from? Okay, you know, every superhero needs a utility belt. Spider-Man ends up just knocking some stuff down on top of the building, which I guess fries Mr. Byron's machine and also his mind. Because, yeah, Peter just goes in and is just like, hey, turn yourself in. So he does. But I shit you not, the way this movie ends. The way this movie ends, you are going to think I'm joking. First, he has to have a conversation with Captain Barbera, who's screaming at him, being great Captain Barbera. Fun times, because he's mad. Like, Peter, why didn't you help me out?
Ah, never mind the cauliflower. Where were you?
Peter talks to JJ, and he's like, hey, I got some pictures of Spider-Man. Hands him over, and they are literally, like, selfies that he took with the villains of the movie.
Sir, I thought you'd like to see these.
What are they?
Wow. It's almost like you're the dragonfly.
No. See? Look.
Now that's photography.
Oh, man. This movie was great, though. I'm going to be honest. It's goofy as hell, but it has charm. So if you are a Spider-Man fan, I highly recommend watching it. But yeah, if you had a good time, you want me to watch more? I'll watch more. I love Spider-Man, as we can tell. And I stand by it. Nicholas Hammond should have been in No Way Home. You want to like, comment, subscribe? Do all that stuff down below. Helps me out a bunch. I'll be doing a lot more of these reaction videos. I don't know what all comes my way, but I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.
Well, did you take your allergy pills?